I, 29 female, have a very crappy home life. My mother died when I was 8, and my father has been horribly absent since then. I have 3 younger brothers, 26, 22, and nearly adult, but this will mainly be about my teen brother. Once my mother died, I started raising my 2 younger brothers and did 95% of the work. My father only gave me weekly money to buy food and other necessities for the 3 of us. When I was a young teen, my dad brought home my youngest brother who was a few months old. I didn't know he existed, much less that my father was seeing someone. My father and I had a horrible fight that night, and we've rarely ever talked since then. Now, I 100% raised all of my 3 brothers, but with my eldest brother, let's call him Jake. He remembered life before our mother died for the longest bit. He resented me his whole life, the classic "you're not my mom" crap when he was in junior high school, so I never viewed him in a son role, and he most definitely never viewed me in a motherly role. With my youngest brother, however, let's call him Henry, he 100% views me as a mom, and I look at him as my son. I know I'm not his mom, but I know nothing about her. I have her first and last name, but cannot find anything about her anywhere. He was young and started calling me mom. I would try to remind him that I'm not his mom. I'm his sister. But after a bit, I just gave up. Now, here's the issue at hand. I was on my break at work yesterday, and I texted the group chat with my husband, 30, daughter, a tween female, and Henry asking what they wanted for dinner and what they wanted to be picked up from this door. Henry texted just some chips. Thanks, mom. And I thought nothing of it. Then my coworker, 24 female, looked over my shoulder and found it very strange that my brother was calling me mom. I would say that this coworker and I are decent friends. We've got drinks a few times after work, and I've talked to her a bit about my family life. I tried to explain our situation to her yesterday and how I've raised him since he was 3 months old, but she just didn't budge. She then went around our job telling others that my brother calls me mom. I really don't understand why this is an issue and why other co-workers are picking sides, but I would say 60% of the people she has told agree and think my brother calling me mom is strange, while the others just don't give a heck, which is fair. Am I the idiot for letting my brother, who I've raised since he was an infant, call me mom? Not the idiot. It's none of your co-workers' business what your brother calls you. The only people whose opinion matters are the involved parties, you, your brother, and the rest of your family. You should take this to HR if that's an option. Who are these co-workers to be offering unsolicited opinions on your family life when they should be doing their jobs? Plus, I'm reading personal messages over Op's shoulders, friends or not. That's not okay. Then to spread nonsense for whatever reason, definitely, Neville was Op's friend, just a gossip which she works with that likes stirring the pot. Do your co-workers also go to foster kids and adopted kids and complain about them calling their not bio parents mom or dad? That's just stupid. You raised him. You are his mother much more than the woman that birthed him. Exactly. Your co-workers are idiots. He was given to you when he was a few months old. You were the mother figure in his whole away life. Other than the fact that he's your half-brother on paper, you are, in fact, his mom. He cried to you at night, got comfort from you, was fed and cleaned by you. He knows no other parent other than you. Can I just add, the people like you are so inspiring to me? The amount of strength and self-sacrificing needed to raise your brothers is insane by every measure, and only a woman still can pull this off. Live happily and prosper. Prosper. I, 28 female, have been married to my husband, 30, for 3 years. He's an amazing partner and works as a waiter at a high-end restaurant, which he loves. My parents have always been a bit snobby about his job, commenting when will he get a real career. My siblings and I planned a big surprise party for my parents' 30th anniversary a few months ago. I covered most of the costs because I'm better financially. Invitations were sent, a drink was booked, and everything was set. Last week, my mom called me and said they were uncomfortable with my husband attending because some of their prestigious friends would be there, and they didn't want to be embarrassed by his job. I was stunned. I told her that was cruel and unacceptable, but she doubled down saying, "It's just one night. You should understand." I immediately cancelled the entire party, letting my siblings know why. They are furious with our parents, but think cancelling was too extreme since the party wasn't just for them, it was for the whole family. My parents are devastated in calling me selfish, saying I ruined their milestone. Am I the idiot for cancelling my parents' anniversary party? Not the idiot for cancelling the party, but I'm gonna be honest here. You should have shut this sort of nonsense down before it got to this point. The fact they were able to be so blatant with their disrespect of your husband and your marriage shows that you haven't been doing all you can to set firm boundaries and stand up for him. If your parents are so prestigious, they can pay for their own anniversary party. For these people, prestigious is spelled SNOB. I mean, wouldn't they be embarrassed that the party was thrown and paid for by a waiter's wife? The irony of being snobby without being able to afford your own anniversary party. The husband probably makes more money than most folks. Some high-end service I know pull around $200,000, and Op's husband has more class than any of them. I wonder if Op's parents are the least prestigious in their social circle, and therefore, the snobbiest. Something tells me the dynamic in this family is the opposite of whatever the golden child is, and as such, is expected to pay tribute regularly to get half the attention the golden child does. Now, she's kicking off and they're pretty angry that she's finally grown a spine. Yes. This right here, and she's finally standing up for her spouse. Your parents are acting like their prestigious friends can't handle the shock of meeting a guy who works for a living. Cancelling the party was a chef's kiss level power move. Why throw a party for people who think your husband's job is beneath them? They should have celebrated their milestone with the dignity they think they have. If they're devastated, maybe they can cry into their snobby champagne and reflect on how trashy their behavior really is. You didn't ruin their milestone. They did. I, 54 male, have 3 grown children and 1 teenager. Kyle, young teen male. Kyle has been feeling lonelier than ever with my 3 kids out of the house, 26 female, 20 male, and 18 female. He has many friends at school, but he enjoys spending time with his siblings more, especially 20 male. Now, Kyle doesn't have a phone yet, and he's been expressing how he's tired of being the odd one out of his friend group and how much he hates being the only one without a cell phone. He also has said he hates not having easy access to communicate with his older brothers and sisters and his friends. My kids all had cell phones when they were young teens, mainly because they had after-school activities. However, my wife was strongly against Kyle having his own cell phone at that age. So it was brought up again last year when he started high school. Well, my wife shut that down and was visibly upset and told me not to bring it up again. I tried to reason with her, but she wasn't budging, and she said her only baby shouldn't have a phone. One thing about my wife and me is that we believe decisions such as when our kids should have cell phones should be mutual. So I respected my wife's wish at the time. However, I feel like my wife was just being unreasonable and wasn't giving me real reasons as to why our teenage son couldn't have a phone. Now that he's in 10th grade, I'll feel more upset than ever because he still doesn't have a phone. So, sometime last month, Kyle begged me just to get him a phone, but I said that his mom doesn't agree, and he said that she was being unfair, and it's been hard for him to get a hold of us whenever he needs to be picked up at school, the gym, etc. I agreed and said I'll get him a phone only if he doesn't tell his mother and can keep it a secret. He agreed. He got the phone and was very, very happy. It's been easy for me to contact him. I mainly drop him off and pick him up from school, and he's been a lot happier. Somehow, this weekend, after keeping the phone a secret for a month, my wife found out and went ballistic. She screamed at me and told me I betrayed her, and how dare I give our son a phone when he could easily do bad things on there, whatever that meant. I told my wife she was being unrealistic and hasn't been giving me proper reasons as to why Kyle shouldn't have a phone. She tried to confiscate Kyle's phone, but I told her that since I paid for the phone, she didn't have a say. My wife said she's told me many times not to buy us on the phone and felt like I betrayed our mutual agreement. She's still very furious with me. Am I the idiot? Edith. Another thing my wife did was to confiscate my son's Chromebook, which was provided by the school every day when he came home and only allowed him to use it for homework. He got an iPad for Christmas last year, which he didn't even use because my wife took it away. So this goes beyond the cell phone. Also, I trust my son, and we have established rules already regarding the phone. So far, he's doing a good job following the rules. I've also spoken with my wife and apologized to her for going behind her back, but I told her that I had to, since every time I would say we needed to get our son a phone, she would start screaming and crying. She will literally break down. She didn't accept my apology, of course, and went as far as calling me a snake, which I'll accept. Everyone's the idiot here. Nowadays, 10th graders need a cell phone for easy communication when leaving the house. As to why you're the idiot, specifically, you not only undermine the mutual agreement, which you may or may not have been right to do so, but also made your child keep secrets from another parent. How on earth did you think that was gonna go? Her only baby is the reason she's behaving this way. Mom is struggling to let go of her youngest child. She's controlling him in an attempt to keep him as dependent upon her for as long as possible. That's an unfortunate situation for both mom and son. The fact that Ob had his son keep a secret is 100% wrong. He broke his wife's trust and caused his son to break his mother's trust. It was an all-around bad move there. Apparently, unpopular, but undermining your wife's parenting when her parenting is controlling, hypocritical, and damaging isn't a problem to me. Not the idiot. And I think if some minor things about this story were flipped, you get a lot more empathy for not enabling your unstable partner. Seriously, under normal circumstances, yes, undermining your partner's parenting is a bad thing. When one parent is being completely unreasonable, it's the duty of the reasonable parent to undermine that nonsense. Your wife being unreasonable about it will only make things worse. He won't trust, start to resent, and hide crap from you because you're showing him you don't trust him. It's like those super controlled kids that leave for university at 18 and lose it because they never had any form of freedom before and overdo everything. My 28 female best friend, Rachel, 30 female, asked me last week if I could watch her dog, Max, for 2 weeks while she and her boyfriend go on a luxury vacation. Max is a sweet dog, but he's high energy, not properly trained, and has a habit of chewing on furniture and shoes. I've had Max over once before when Rachel visited my place, and he caused quite a bit of chaos. He chewed through my couch and left scratches on my wooden floors. I also live in a small apartment, and managing Max alongside my demanding work from home schedule would be a huge challenge. When Rachel brought it up, I politely declined and explained that my current setup isn't ideal for a high-energy dog. I suggested she look into a pet sitting service or a kennel, even offering to help cover a portion of the cost since I know money is tight for her right now. She didn't take it well, saying I should want to help her out as a best friend, and that Max would feel abandoned if he was left at a kennel. Since then, Rachel has been distant and has made a few passive-aggressive remarks about how she can't count on me when it matters. Some mutual friends have even weighed in, saying I'm being too rigid and could make it work if I really wanted to. I feel bad for saying no, but I also feel like I'm setting a boundary to protect my space and peace of mind. Now, I'm wondering if I should have just sucked it up and agreed to help her out. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If Rachel can't afford to board her dog, she can't afford to go on vacation. It's as simple as that. Pet care is part of the cost of leaving town, and her pet is 100% her responsibility. She needs to learn to save up more before making commitments. Yeah. Luxury vacations or even plain vacations and money being a bit tight don't go well together. Why would your vacations and money being a bit tight don't go well together? Why would you even help pay for boarding the dog? Why would she even book the vacation without securing a suitable place for the dog? In her place, I wouldn't go on vacation and probably wouldn't own a dog either. This person is not your friend. Notice how they get angry and passive-aggressive when you decline a favor. The people saying you could make it work are similarly not your friends. The next time someone mentions it, say, "That's so great that you volunteered to take Max." So I, a teen female, got into an argument with my classmates. Let's call him Grant for easier explanation, Mom, since apparently I was hating on him for not choosing him as my partner for the upcoming prom. Just a little background, I think it was on Wednesday last week when we finalized the partners for the prom next year because we would begin practicing the dance performance. And since I wasn't openly saying to everyone that I already had my partner, my boyfriend, nearly adult male, the teacher who helped with partnering up the students assumed I was still free and asked me if I was willing to become Grant's partner. and I obviously refused because I already had one. Then he didn't say a thing about it. I assumed that the teacher would probably just ask someone from the lower grade. The girls in our class weren't enough to pair with all the boys, so we'd be taking some girls from the lower level to fill in the spot. The next day, my advisor just suddenly told me that a parent was looking for me and told me to go to the guidance room, and I did when the event happened with Grant's mom. She saw me and began complaining about how dare I refuse to go to prom with her son when I should be honored to be paired with him. I was just like, I'm really confused, since it wasn't like I rudely refused Grant and even said yesterday. I meant like the day when they were choosing partners, but I couldn't since I was with someone. And here is the part where I probably end up being rude, since I straight up told her that even if I didn't have a partner, I wouldn't choose her son. She should take a look at her son before blaming me. Grant is the kind of boy who was egoistic and really noisy, plus I really didn't like him since every time we would be doing dance activities in the past, he would just run away to play with his friends and barely gave any effort to dance. I couldn't have that since prom was a graded performance. Everyone in the room became silent, and the teacher somewhat scolded me for disrespecting the mom, but soon let me off since she knew that other than my words, I didn't do anything wrong and just made me apologize. Then let me leave since she would be handling the rest. Am I the wrong one? It is just a typical prom, but we would be doing two parts. The first part is performance, which is graded for physical education, and the second part is just partying until it ends. My school has always had a graded performance in prom, so it's pretty normal to me and not that weird. I'm studying in a private school. Not the idiot. Your parents are paying a lot for this school. Complain to your parents that the teacher deliberately pulled you out and allowed an unrelated adult to berate and harass you until you felt threatened. Then you were forced to apologize. Ask your parents to escalate to the principal or board. Your parents should know what to do since you're at a private school. This is something hugely inappropriate. I'd never allow my children to be treated this way. Who does this teacher and parent think they are? I agree with this advice massively. I would be livid if anyone in the school allowed a practical stranger to target my child without even my knowledge. There would be a lot of groveling. Kid, talk to your parents about this. Her son isn't entitled to be your partner. She doesn't get to scold you for that. I'm surprised that the school let some unrelated parent come and scold you like that. Talk to your parents. Son isn't entitled to be your partner. She doesn't get to scold you for that. I'm surprised that the school let some unrelated parent come and scold you like that. Talk to your parents.